don't know if they're gonna make the top 10 for me. Like they're cool. They're just so new.
And welcome back, everybody.
What's up, everybody? What up, internet? How's it going?
It is Ghost on Two Wheels, and
Patty Rick, what's up? It's
I
your boy.
thought you. I thought you were going to lead with "It's your boy."
It's your boy Patty Rick
That's how you got to start.
with my Candida dry ginger ale because I got an upset tummy today.
Oh, poor thing. It kind of blurted out there for a second with your background, and I was like, "Oh, even your camera says we can't show this."
Listen,
Oh, yeah.
My
Okay.
man.
already.
Control Alt Own. What kind of music do mummies like? Rap. Didn't even get us a chance to answer it, but
Boo. No, that's pretty good. That's pretty solid.
oh gosh. Oh, do you think we should just do like best dad joke
Ooh.
wins?
Yeah, probably.
And it has to either be a super. Should it be a super chat or member chat?
I don't know because that kind of
Hmm.
limits it, but
Yeah.
I think it's subscriber because I know we have subscribers only on the chat, so I think
Right.
subscribers only is a good barrier to entry.
Okay. Well, let's watch that. Maybe we'll make a mental note. Best dad joke. So
Yes.
actually, hold them for right now. Think about them, and then when we get done with kind of like one little segment, we'll say hit the chat. We'll do that. So, Control Alt Owned. You were on the board though. We'll remember that one.
Mm-hmm.
So
So what's
Well,
up,
Pat-
Ghost? I know I missed out on the last show. I heard you had a great time with Bo.
yeah, tapped Bo to come in, and we were talking about Royal Enfield when we went up and did a demo on those.
Oh, okay.
Royal Enfield, it's a different breed.
Very
It's
different. Very different. I
not
really enjoy those
bad.
bikes.
They're not bad. They're just different.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, if y'all haven't heard, go back and watch that. But the TLDR of my assessment was they're a little bit more just kind of rugged and raw, which
Mhm.
is a good flavor of motorcycle if you want that. But I did notice that after I rode those bikes and then I got back on my Kawasaki Versus, I was just like, oh, this is so smooth and nice. Just it's a different flavor, but
Yeah,
but I
it's
liked them.
yeah, it's one of those things where like it's not that it's not that they're bad or that they're that much more buzzy or that much more X, Y, and Z. It's just the big three, especially the Japanese brands, are so much or big four, so much more refined.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And Royal Enfield was made to be easy to work on, easy to maintain, and it's a little more basic, and therefore
Mm-hmm.
you don't get that refinement. But it was good to talk about that. We also talked about helmet laws. That
Mm-hmm.
there was a certain state proposing removing the helmet law. Yeah, that that sums up the whole thing. I think we're all on the same page on that one. So if you wanted some interesting reactions to that, check out last stream. But today we got a few things lined up we want to chat about. We thought about, what they do in college football. There's a preseason top 10, and there's the rankings throughout the year. We thought, what if we ranked motorcycle manufacturers? Is there really one that is just head and shoulders above the rest? Is it all subjective? Which it is. But what are the factors that play into that? Is it reputation? What's happened recently? We'll talk about that here in a minute. We also are going to do a quick path to upgrade. We have one person who chimed in about a little bit of their moto history, and we're going to see what kind of things we can do for that one. And then as time permits, we may talk about a special bike or two
All right.
and what's coming up in the schedule for other people.
Can
So
neither confirm nor deny any allegations against myself or any parties I may or may not be involved with.
this is what the stream crew, y'all being here, you get some inside scoops on things. What do you want to start with, man?
I mean, let's get into the meat and potatoes because I think it's gonna be a long discussion of what the
Mhm.
top 10 bikes are or top 10
Okay.
manufacturers.
In chat, throw it in there what you think as we go along. So I've got a little. Let me make sure I can do this.
Are we going to start with number 10?
So you should be able to see the screen. I've got up a little graphic thing here that I can place the top 10 on here. Let me go to my. So we'll put some names out there, and then we may shuffle them around depending upon what's going on. You know,
it looks all sorts of weird on the actual live stream.
I know. It'll get there. Don't worry.
There we go. Okay.
It's I'm new. So
we're new here.
It's different when you go from producer and host to from just being. Okay, so I think there's a few names that come out initially. And I'm just going to start typing some in here. What about the Japanese Big Four, right?
Yeah, right. Honda, Yamaha, Suzuki.
Oh, why does it always want to do that? This is what I get for trying to do it on the fly. Trust me, I'll get there. Don't worry.
I believe in you.
So we know where these guys go. We know these guys are probably somewhere in this top 10. Like, would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Like, I don't see how you could leave out any one of these in here.
Yeah. And then what do you think we go Harley and Indian? You think we put them on the list somewhere? Do you think we just write all the brands we could think of down? If we can't think of them, clearly they don't belong on the list.
I mean, that's that sounds pretty appropriate to me. So it's just I have to like create these as separate like line items here. So
no, you're fine.
So we got Harley Davidson. We have Indian. Feather, not the dot.
Mm-hmm. I think we do. I mean, obviously, you then move over to European brands.
Mm-hmm.
So like
Triumph,
BMW, KTM. KTM.
We'll talk about it. We will talk about it.
KTM maybe not so much.
We may be we may be spoiling the ending here, but we'll put it on the list.
Yep. What about like Royal Enfield is a great example. CF Moto.
Yeah, I think all those are.
Trying to think of who else. Is this just now a game of can we name more than 10 motorcycle brands?
it's yeah. If we could only think of 10, well, there's our 10. Good night, everybody.
Yeah, because there's 10 right there.
No, yeah,
Royal
we got
Enfield,
a few more to
Honda Indian.
CF Moto.
Yeah, CF Moto.
Which
11.
Which I think is a contender. I mean,
so hold on. Royal Enfield, Indian, Triumph, Honda, CF Moto, Suzuki, Yamaha, BMW, Kawasaki.
Ducati.
That's right, the Italian brands. Ducati, Aprilia.
Yeah, if we'd have forgot that, somebody would have been like, you can.
Aprilia. What else?
Who are we missing, chat?
Goodness. I don't know.
I mean, you can think of something like Livewire. I mean, does that even...
I mean, I feel like Livewire falls under Harley almost.
Yeah. I don't think it would be necessarily a
because kind of same but different.
Now, if it happens to come up when we get toward the end and we're like, oh, then yeah, but I don't think it will. So, let's see. Goonie, we can do path to upgrade on you real quick if we need to later. So, he's saying Benelli. Yeah, there's a couple of the smaller ones.
Oh yeah, but Benelli. That's right.
It's a
Husky, I guess. Which I feel like is KTM.
Yeah. There's Moto Marini. They've kind of made a couple little waves recently.
Yeah. Kove. Moto Guzzi. Right. Oh, absolutely, Moto Guzzi. Duh.
Yeah, it's so funny when you get put on the spot. Moto Guzzi.
Kove.
What was the other one you say? Yeah, Kove.
I don't know if they're gonna make the top 10 for me. Like they're cool. They're just so new. Like I feel like,
right.
But we'll have that conversation.
Yeah. So yeah, we've got a lot here. So maybe we can kind of start ballparking these things, and
Yeah.
if something comes to mind, we can always rearrange it because we're in charge here. So, um, sh- should we almost like pre-organize these, or like if we said, okay, let's take our Japanese big four and put them in order. That way, at least we know.
Or I almost think like, here's a better way to do it. What's your number one? Or do you want to save that
Well, I think it may be some shuffling because
as we
you
talk
may
about it?
you may present some factors about something that I may not consider. So I'm also thinking this is something we can maybe update month to month
Hey,
and just
Joe
touch it.
Jackson. Joe, we haven't organized them yet. Don't worry. Don't worry, buddy. We have not organized them yet.
Oh, just because he's here, let me help him out.
Oh, poor Joe.
I can't do that. Joe's got one. Randrew's got one.
I was gonna say, like, they're
Um,
again, my talking points of the brand is like they're really cool, they're rad, their customer service Joe has proved is fantastic. I just
Shocking. Ah,
boo this
no, that
man,
was
chat,
good.
boo this man.
No, hold on. Come on, that was good. Wow, that clap was a lot longer than I thought it was going to
Yeah,
be.
really, it just kept going. Um, I mean, okay, so like, I love Honda. I love Honda. I think they are a
Mhm.
fantastic brand. They are the number one motorcycle brand worldwide. They sell more bikes. I think they sell more bikes than like the next eight brands put together.
Mhm.
They sell something like 16 million units a year.
I'm going to put it up here toward the top.
Yeah, for me it's either number one or number two. It's gonna be tight.
Mhm. I've
Um,
always had a soft spot for Honda.
mhm.
Honda was my first motorcycle.
Same. My
I
first
also
dirt bike.
I have a Honda Ruckus.
You do? I haven't owned a Honda street bike in a very long time. I had a Shadow at one
Hmm.
point, believe it or not.
I may need to do some more research on some Honda bikes then. See what would work for you. Huh. What else you
I
got,
was
man?
literally looking at an Africa Twin today. But
Yes, that would be.
um, I mean, up there has got to be for me Yamaha. Yamaha
Yeah.
is either one or two for me. Um, they have arguably the most reliable engine. I mean, they literally have the CP2 independently tested, the most reliable motorcycle engine on the planet.
Nice.
Um, I think it's something that they've done a really good job to innovate within the industry over a number of factors in a number of years. I feel like they've slowed down a little bit as of late, but their SP
Mm-hmm.
lineup has really brought back a lot of fans. They unfortunately just got rid of the best bike they've ever built, which is unfortunate and disappointing. They'll see the error of their ways
The Super T.
soon. Yep. Rumor has it there's a new one coming, so I'm excited to see if that rumor mill becomes true. But I mean, just like they're bulletproof, reliable. They're easy to get parts for. They're easy to work on. It's hard to not love a Yamaha.
Fair. Um, I mean, I feel like this has to be up there.
I mean, it's gonna be a
It's, it's,
dogfight.
it's it, I mean,
It's gonna
are
be
they
a
going to be the top
dogfight
four?
between Cowie and Suzuki for me.
Okay. Well, I mean, so talking about like different things you could factor into this, I'm thinking like maybe also trends. A lot of these
Hmm.
brands have big reputations. I think some of them have leaned on reputations a little too long,
Hmm.
and then some of them have like realized that and you know done some good things. So Suzuki, we kind of just honestly kind of crapped on them a lot. That it was like, oh, it's the same bike as last year and the year before
Hey,
and the year before
bold
that.
new
Bold
graphics.
new graphics is what you got. But a couple years ago, they had their new parallel twin. So they had the 8R, the 8S, the new V Stroms that are now P Stroms. But it was a good like, hey,
Yeah,
we're
the new
refreshing things.
DRZ is out. Like the new Jixus or the Jixers are coming out. They're fairly new and they're decent.
Mm.
At least the Jixer 1000 is good. I really like that bike.
I would still put Kawasaki above Suzuki.
Hmm.
But I think of the big four, wherever they place in the top 10, I feel like that's my order. I feel like Honda has the edge just because they're, I mean, it's a Honda. You put oil in it once every couple of decades and it'll be fine.
Yeah,
And-
you could probably piss in the gas tank. It'll run. Um, yeah,
What you got? Come on,
I
say it.
I feel like for me, Suzuki's over Cowie.
Okay.
As someone who's owned quite a few Cowies, not nearly as many. No, I've probably owned about the same amount of Suzuki's over the years. Uh, but like for me, the DRZ is iconic. The new DRZ, I haven't had a chance to test it. I know that there were some people at the press launch just a couple of weeks ago, so I'm excited to see that. I love the KLR though. I prefer the
Mhm.
KLR to the DR.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer the DRZ to the KLX. I much prefer the Gixxer to the Ninja. I it's so tight for me, but I feel like Kawasaki's dropped the ball a lot with their tech recently. And what I mean by that is like the hybrid system is cool, and that's a nifty bike, but their
Mhm.
screens are terrible and the menus are terrible. Suzuki's are better, not by a lot.
Uh,
Their menus are also terrible. Their screens are also terrible.
yeah,
So it's just
I like the Cowie screens better than Suzuki though, because I did a test ride on a couple Suzukis and I was just like, what the heck is going on here? It looked like Windows 3.1 to me or something. I don't know.
yeah. See, like I think that's the thing is like for
But that's preference, maybe. I don't know.
yeah, that's personal preference because I feel like for Chase and I, the Honda, Yamaha, and Suzuki screens make sense, and then we get on the Cowie, we're like, this doesn't make any fucking sense. But then we talk to Cowie people, and they're like, no, the Cowie one's the only one that makes any sense, and it's like, I don't know if that's true.
I mean, they probably all have like honestly some research into
Oh, yeah.
user interfaces that.
Yeah. They've
But
got
then again, it's
they're
preference.
doing it. The grading is based on personal opinion. That's what the
Yeah,
grading
I
is
was about to
based on.
say the grading is based on whatever we want.
Yeah,
However,
it is entirely subjective.
so are we good with like Honda, Yamaha, and then it's the next two?
Yeah. Just those
Okay.
are they're close
so
enough.
so
Yeah.
we'll throw it to the chat as the tiebreaker on that one.
Yeah. Andy, I
So-
know you want an FTR, but they're just they've already discoed them. To be fair,
They did. They're not. He ain't coming back. Well, they
No.
might come back later.
I mean maybe. I feel like Honda's not or Harley's not too far off of like discontinuing the Sportster S, but that's a conversation for another time. So what's your number 5-ish? What is your
So
5-ish?
are we thinking these are the top four?
In that order, give or take, between Cowie and Suzuki, like it could go either way. I feel like that's our top 4.
Oh, Control Alt Own says Yamaha number one. Well, guess what? Pat and I have decided, and you don't count right now.
That's a 2v1 there. Their control. That's Honda number 1. Sorry, buddy.
But you can vote for the Cowie or Suzuki as
Yeah,
a
we'll let
tiebreaker.
chat decide Cowie versus Suzuki for the number 3 spot. But
Also,
we'll-
super chat, a single super chat will break the tie. I mean,
listen, you put money behind it. R3 is the beginner bike for people who like
who like Yamahas and R3s.
yeah, I was like for people who like tiny sport bikes that are made of plastic. But it is a very very popular beginner bike. I can't argue with that.
Okay, sidebar, beginner bike. I think it depends on your frame and size as to what is a beginner bike.
Yeah.
Because
I sit on an R3 and I can hear it crying. Like it doesn't want me to be there. I don't want to be there.
oh man, that's funny. Yeah, so when I started, I didn't have any wonderful guidance like us now to potential new riders. Whatever. But everything that was on the internet was you got to start with a 250 or 300, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to get in trouble on you don't know
Yeah.
what you don't know.
Yeah.
I got a 250 and I was like, I should have started on a 500 or even a
Like-
650.
Like I love the R3. I think the MT-07 or the R7 is the better beginner bike
Mm-hmm.
of the
I-
Yamaha lineup.
But the R7 is uncomfortable.
Yeah, but so is the R3. Anyway, okay, so number 5.
Number 5, I feel like.
Or
Okay, just
do we want to discuss who isn't in the top 10?
or yeah, well, let's go ahead and pick out some contenders for number 5. Maybe we'll do it that way. I'm going to throw in Triumph.
I like Triumph. I like that's a good choice. Um, I like honestly, I like Royal Enfield for somewhere in that neighborhood,
Okay.
and I like. Oh man,
Just trying to organize here.
no, you're good. You're good. Take your time. I like. It's so hard because there's so many different like things I'm considering.
There,
Right?
yes, all the well, talk it out loud. What are the factors that you are considering in a top 10? Is it reputation? Is it cost? Cost
So
of
it's a little.
ownership?
It's like value. It's reputation. It's like how good is their lineup currently? How good are they historically? Are they easy to work on? Are they reliable? Are parts easy to get? Like for me, it's like ownership. Like if I want to own these bikes,
Uh-huh.
or like if I have to stick to this is the only brand of these bikes I'm ever going to own. How does that list break down?
Okay. So yeah, I'm kind of in the same way. So cost of ownership, like that makes me think like BMWs and Ducatis are high performance, awesome machines with a lot of tech and very refined. But you
We got
take it in
one.
to get serviced and your bank account gets emptied.
Yeah. Oh, we got one vote for Cowie for the. So I put Cowie number 3. That's fine. I'll concede that. I maintain that the KLR is the best adventure or the best beginner starter adventure bike on the market.
So here's what we can do though. Next month when we look at some of this stuff, if somebody's had like 3 different recalls, we may drop them down.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like a little here's our initial list and then we'll see where it goes.
So
All right.
I think a good number 5 is gotta be Triumph.
Okay.
For me, they eke out Royal Enfield. One, Triumph has a great history to them. Obviously, we know that brand went away and came back. Um,
Oh, yeah.
let's
My
see.
man.
Cowie for the win. LOL. By the way, Yo Patty Goon got a Q50 Red Sport 400. Very nice. I think I remember seeing a message about that. And the past month for me, 2 months has been absolutely insane. So I do apologize for not responding. But thank you for being a member for 26 months, Andy. More than 2 years. We love and appreciate you, my friend.
We got to get him off of KTM.
Yeah. Luke for Yamaha. Yamaha's already in the second spot. It would take a lot for me to have Yamaha overtake Honda.
Mm-hmm.
It'd take a lot of votes, but I love I ride a Yamaha. So,
Yeah.
but Triumph over Royal Enfield for me. Royal
Okay.
Enfield is growing really well. They're especially their recent bikes have been really fantastic. They've been great to me personally, being able to go to a lot of events and really speaking with the engineering team behind these bikes. I really, really love them. Like they're good people. Royal Enfield for me is very much motorcycles made by motorcyclists. It is enthusiast bikes made by enthusiasts, and they have a really solid lineup. Now, there's some things that I don't like that they do, but there's some things about every brand that I don't like. But
Sure.
I think for the history and the availability of parts and
Cost of ownership, all
I
that.
mean, even cost of ownership for Royal Enfield is probably it's leading Royal Enfield. It's a cheaper bike to own than a Triumph, but
Yeah.
I think there's just a bit of reputation and a bit of I don't want to call it prestige, but maybe that is what it is of owning a Triumph and being a part of that community. Like the Tiger lineup is so good, and their new 400s are fantastic, and like they've just done so well recently.
Yeah, and kind of a sidebar on Triumph, the way I looked at them just even as of a few years ago, they kind of seemed very, not very, but a little bit to a premium level, it felt
Yeah.
like. And I felt like they've become more approachable, less pretentious, and kind of like, we want to make good bikes, but we want everybody to enjoy them.
Yeah, they still have their really big bikes, their big expensive Tiger, their Rocket, the
The Rocket is just nuts. Like,
yeah, that thing's fucking great. It's great. I love that.
nobody
bike.
needs that.
Yeah,
but-
no, everyone needs that. It's fantastic.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's to the point where no one needs it to where everyone. Yeah. But you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying. It's over the top. It's great.
Yeah. And like
Um,
I do love Royal Enfield, honestly. Such good bikes. Like the new Himalayan is
mhm.
fantastic. I really liked the new the Gorilla. That launch was a lot of fun. Had a great time on that bike. I think it's a great little like the Gorilla might be one of my favorite, if not my favorite, like bebop around town bikes that's out right now. Like if I need a daily commuter like shoot around town bike, I'm probably getting a Gorilla.
Mhm.
Um, that or like the Triumph Speed Twin. Like I really love that new Speed Twin. So it's a hard toss up for me between Triumph and Royal Enfield. But for me, Royal Enfield is in sixth. What do you think?
Okay.
It
I
ain't just about me.
No, no, yeah. I agree Triumph is above Royal Enfield. I liked Royal Enfield. I'm just
Are they a
I,
little
th-
lower for you?
it may be a little lower for me cuz and
So what do
I
you
don't know.
have below Triumph but above Royal Enfield?
I don't I'm just let me just throw out some contenders here. Aprilia and this is kind of based on reputation.
Sure.
I don't know much about Moto Guzzi.
I really like Moto.
Um I feel like around here Harley Davidson is coming into the conversation. Although their their recent earnings report was not stellar. Um, but I can appreciate the direction they've taken the last few years.
Yeah.
Um, I may lean to chat. Let's see. Luke B's got some offerings.
Luke
Yamaha,
B.
Honda, CF Moto, Triumph, Indian, Suzuki, Kawasaki, BMW, Harley Davidson, Royal Enfield. I can see
Ah.
that. I can see that. Yeah, I think I need to put CF Moto kind of in this mid to late
Yeah.
conversation. They
Honestly, I'm kind of agreeing with Luke a little bit. I think we can drop. I hate to say this. I almost think we could drop Cowie and Suzuki down a little further. I think we
okay.
keep them together.
Who would wedge in there between? Do you think Triumph goes up and takes the bronze medal spot?
For me, right now, I think so. I think it because like Cowie and Suzuki are great, but I feel like they've been speaking of brands that have been riding their name and their reputation.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they ride their reputation, like especially as of late. The stuff Triumph has been doing has been fan friggin' tastic.
Well, and I think Kawasaki, they're one of those that they're so big, they march to the beat of their own drum, which is respectable to a degree. They're like, we're
Yeah,
going to make a
absolutely.
hybrid, we're going to make a hydrogen motorcycle,
Yeah,
and
sick,
um,
dope, do it.
that's going to pave the way for something in the future.
Yeah, but just do
But
it well.
but I think where I saw them and Honda at like a couple years ago is they were so much just like we're the big brands, we're going to do what we want to. I see Honda being more reaching out to like, hey, let's engage some more different ways to present ourselves and content creators
Yeah,
and
well,
it's
even that, like Honda, like the new CBR 1000 is a fucking rocket ship in MotoGP and Moto America. It is absolutely just whipping wholesale ass. The new Africa Twin with CarPlay is fantastic. The new e-clutch system that they've come out with, fan fucking I think of at Honda's DCT, historically fantastic.
mm,
Like Honda's been doing such a good job to bring motorcycling to more people.
and that DCT is getting better this year.
Hmm.
Man, I need to check one out. I would okay. I would almost slot CF Motos number 6. Because as I'm sitting here chewing on it, they are better than Royal Enfield in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm not against that. I think they're really close. I think it's a close battle between them and Royal Enfield at this very moment. Like the new Ibex 450 is fantastic. The new 800E that we're getting in America is fantastic. It's got CarPlay. It's got all this crazy stuff on it.
Mm-hmm.
Their off-road stuff is really nice. Like their side by sides and ATVs have done really really well. Their dealer network is growing and it's becoming easier to get these bikes. I worry with the tariff situation not to make this political, but I worry that parts are gonna get a little more difficult and they're gonna get expensive.
Yes, I agree. That's going to be well, and that's going to impact everything, but just because of supply chain and all that. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, I've just been. I feel like CF Moto is still climbing that hill against the Chinese stigma, but yeah, people are just waiting for them to fail, waiting for engines to start blowing up and whatever,
And they're just
and
not.
it's just not. And so I think with every year, they're about to approach that hill and kind of top it and say, "We're here. We are to be considered with the big brands." Um, that 450 engine, we'll talk more about that here shortly, but that's been great. They are not as refined as these up here, so
I will agree with that.
They were definitely behind it, but I would
I would argue that CF Moto's offerings at least are more refined than Triumph's 400s.
Yes. Yeah.
Like,
yeah, Triumph's 400 is let me get you into the Triumph brand.
yeah, it's here's an economy Triumph.
Your Triumph starter set.
Greenie, sup losers. What's up, Greenie? How are you? Yeah, it's just like the bottom end of Triumph, the mid tier of CF Moto is better than them. But also, like, once you get out of the bottom tier of Triumph, like everything Triumph does above that is better. So it's you know.
Right. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and start slotting some of these in. We can always rearrange.
Yeah. I think
Ducatis have gotten a little more approachable.
yeah, we had a conversation, Chase and I, today about Ducati, and their buyer has changed so much as of late.
Mm-hmm.
And I think outside of a couple of models from BMW, very much the same thing has happened to them. It went from refined, sophisticated, high performance machines to fuckboys on Instagram.
Speaking of, check out Chase's video that was released today.
You know, like, we saw a dude traded an R1 today while we were there on a newer R1. And it's like, cool. Like, that makes sense. Was an Instagram fuckboy. Like, all right. His buddy was buying a Ducati V4. Absolutely an Instagram fuckboy. Like, just, like, literally, we were like, cool. AGV, hoodie, jeans, and race boots. Got it. Cool. Like, exactly what we thought it would be. So it's just like, for me, BMW Ducati are, like, not trending in the correct direction. And I feel that way
because of their clientele, or just how they're catering to them, or
I don't know if it's their fault per se.
I mean, because you can't say it's the company's fault for who buys them, unless
True.
it's their marketing and advertising.
Yeah, but I think with Ducati, like, they're like, we build super fast things that are okay, kind of reliable, and they're super fucking expensive for no reason. And, like, you know, they've just not. I don't know if Ducati makes the top 10 for me,
Okay.
which is a wild thing to say.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why KTM's on the board, to be honest. But it's a brand we talked about earlier. But
Here, let me fix KTM.
yeah, we'll just yep.
All right.
I don't know. What do you think in the number 7/8 spot? Or are you considering putting something higher up?
So I'm looking at Aprilia because I know a couple people in the Smart crew that have those and they love them.
Mm-hmm.
And
The Touareg 660 is nice.
The Touareg,
the new what, the 470, whatever it's called, the new 400 sport bike is nice.
It seems like they are a brand that kind of was very niche before and are also growing to be more available. So,
I will agree with that.
I don't know. This may be a 7. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's definitely going to be more polished than Royal Enfield.
Yeah.
Royal Enfield is riding on cost of ownership, easy to ride, easy to
Yeah,
buy,
they're making
own.
bikes that are approachable and fun, and you don't have to worry about beating the shit out of them.
But if you were presented with a bike in front of you, an Aprilia of your choice or a Royal Enfield of your choice, what do you go with? This is a fun one, isn't it?
Honestly, for me, it's Royal Enfield.
For me, I'm leaning Aprilia.
Yeah, like
It's something in the gut, but
no, I get that. Like, there's nothing.
chat.
I can't fault Aprilia for anything. They've made some really good bikes recently. They are
Mm-hmm.
appeasing to more market share. The Touareg's a great bike. Um, the 660 engine, it's a great platform. I know they've started to get into racing more in the US, which is fantastic. But if someone was like, you could have either of these bikes for free, but you have to own them and live with them,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going Royal Enfield. And I think maybe that's the Italian stigma of Aprilia of like, I don't want to deal with hard to get parts, a lack of a dealer network,
It's
electronic problems.
it's $400 for an oil change.
Like, or like with the Royal Enfield, like, is it going to be perfect? No. Can I just absolutely beat the dog shit out of it and it's still gonna get me home at the end of the day? Yes. Is it $10 or whatever the fuck it is? Like, realistically, an oil change on the Royal Enfield, a $6 to $12 oil filter, 2 to 3 quarts of $7 oil, we're sub $50.
Okay.
I'm cool with the Aprilia at 8. I have no worries there. I like the Aprilia bikes, I think, a little more. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
love the Touareg. I love that 660. I love the 400 whatever. They're
Yeah.
super cool. But I like them because they're
Super
cool.
cool.
I'm just not going to own one, you know?
Yeah. I think we may be upset in the chat because you and I probably lean a little bit more practical, and they're just more like horsepower. Let's go.
We're old.
What? True. This is true. Well, but you know what? When they get that first service charge, they might go
Yeah. Yeah, the first oil change on my 1199 when I had it, I was like, what? $250 for an oil change? Go fuck yourself.
Well, speaking of changing oil or just adding it in there after it leaks out,
Hey, Harley!
I feel like Harley has to be in the top 10. Like American made, there is a lot of reputation, but there's a lot of bad reputation too. But
I feel like no matter where you put Harley, you have to put Indian on the same level.
yeah, but I'm just gonna do that.
Like, I don't like it, but I feel like it's just true, you know?
Well, I feel like this is one where you have the meme from The Office. They're the same picture.
Yeah.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to modify it and just put Harley Davidson Indian at 9. How about
that's fine with me. Okay, if we're doing that, then let's put Suzuki Kawasaki at 4. Just let them split 4. Or do we let them split 5? Is there something on the list that you maybe want to move up? Are you just going to let them split 4 or 5?
They're 4 or 5.
Yeah, okay.
We'll put the keys at 4 or 5.
Yeah.
All right. Who is the mighty number 10? Let's
eliminate some things. Maybe,
okay.
But I'll let you go.
KTM, out.
Out.
Okay.
Benelli, out.
Out. Moto Morini, not there yet. No.
Out. Just not there yet.
Okay, so we've got Joe Jackson's.
Yeah, realistically, Joe Jackson and who is it in chat that it's somebody has one. Who the fuck? Oh my god, I'm having a stroke. Oh my god, I'm just gonna get on the Discord and look. Hold on. Jesus
Okay,
Christ.
we'll just wait on you.
My brain is. I'm just. Randrew has one.
He's got a Cove.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, Randrew's got a Cove. Joe Jackson's a Cove. Obviously, Cove's customer service is fantastic. They have this 450 and an 800 which are not CF Moto engines, not at all. Um, you know, they
Um,
look
I,
they look the same, but
I feel like pulling out Moto Guzzi.
really,
They,
why?
I don't know. It does not seem approachable, affordable to me.
I'll agree with that. I think the what is it, the optics on Moto Guzzi are much better currently than KTM Moto Morini Benelli. I would argue better than um, like they might earn an honorable mention for me.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like they're close, but I just was like,
They're close. They're just not
I'm just
quite
trying to also
there
like,
yet.
let's pare it down. So,
Yeah, I like
so
Kove a lot. Like it's a cool brand.
but does it still have to prove itself just a little bit more?
I think they need to prove their reliability. That being said, they're obviously like I said with Joe, like their customer service is fantastic. You have a problem, they take care of it, whether you take it to a dealer or not. You know, it's they're built, especially that 450 is built as a race bike.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it is a race bike, and I think with like two models is not enough to put them in the top 10. But I think they're close.
Okay.
And for me, I think it's BMW over Ducati.
I would agree with that.
I BMW the new GS is fuck ugly. It's massive, but it's a new GS, so that's exciting. Uh, the R9T I think is a fantastic machine. I think it's underappreciated, um, by a good margin. Um, so
Hmm.
let's take this top 10 and maybe like really nail it down. Honda Yamaha like obviously top two. I can't.
Yes.
I don't have an argument for them to not be top two.
Yes.
I think there's an argument to flip them either way, but
Mm-hmm.
I still
It
think it's Honda.
yeah. I think they just are so
Yeah.
big and just
16 million units a year.
hmm.
They sell more Groms than most brands sell bikes.
That's hilarious to say that out loud.
I mean, seriously, like
But it's awesome.
I think I let me see if I can find the stat. It might be in my email.
Yeah, when we get to 3, 4, 5, I feel like you could just roll the dice on those, shuffle those up, and whatever came out, I'd be like, all right. So with Triumph at
Yeah,
number 3,
last year
Kawasaki's is
they sold their millionth Grom.
nice.
They sell more Groms than some brands sell bikes.
Someday everyone will have a Grom.
Yeah, as it should be, to be fair.
So, okay, so Triumph at 3. I feel like I said, I think 3, 4, and 5 are just kind of you shuffle them up, and I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, like you could shuffle those around wherever, and generally, I think you're gonna be okay. I almost think I don't know. You're gonna hate me for this. I still think Kawai Suzuki could drop some. I don't know what would be above them per se, but I feel like they
Well,
could still drop
then,
some.
they're where they need to be.
Or maybe,
Um,
the gap between 3 and 4, or the gap between 1 and 2 is significant. The gap between 2 and 3 is huge.
mhm,
And then I think the gaps are still pretty big, but they get tighter the further we go down the list.
mhm. Yeah, I go with that. So CF Moto slotting in at 6. I mean, I feel like they're just heading right in to be just a normal brand that's out there.
I
That
mean, like, they're, according to their sales numbers, that's where they should be. You know,
Do you have any
there's,
recent sales numbers? I mean, I know y'all have a couple CF Motos on loan, but I
um,
didn't know if that came with any stats or something you could share.
I got some sales numbers at their dealer show last year. Um, and it's surprising,
Yeah.
honestly. Um, Now that their sales numbers are heavily bolstered by like heavily bolstered by their off-road market. But like as a brand, they're like number 4 or 5 in North America, which is wild to me. Okay, so
That's crazy.
estimated. So these aren't final numbers, but estimated sales by the top 10 motorcycle brands in the United States last year. Number 1. Take a guess.
Motorcycle sales in the U.S. last year.
Yeah, 2024.
Honda.
Honda. 400,000 units. Number 2.
Yamaha.
Harley.
Harley. Okay.
95,000 units.
The difference. Oh my gosh.
Huge. Now that being said, Yamaha third, 60,000. Cowie fourth with 55. Suzuki fifth with 30,000. KTM sixth, allegedly. There's an asterisk there. 25,000. Indian also 25,000. BMW also 25,000. Ducati ninth with 9,000, and Triumph 10th with 5,500. Now again, these are like estimated, like, kind of sort of numbers.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say like what is truly accurate, right? I believe the Honda one. I think they actually did a little bit more, but
That's amazing.
yeah, 400,000 units, which is more than
Now, is
almost
that just
everybody
motorcycle
else.
units?
That's just motorcycles.
Okay.
So that's
Is
more
that-
than basically
Wow.
everyone
Wow.
else put together.
Sheesh, man. Yeah, Honda's locked up that one spot. No doubt
Yeah,
about it.
I know for a fact that Honda accounts for like 64% of all motorcycle sales worldwide. Period. like-
Unbelievable. All right. Well, I mean, here's our top 10. What do we think? Like anything, anything you're kind of like on, or is,
I feel like are we missing a brand? I feel like we're missing somebody.
yeah, well, obviously they're not that memorable if we're not. Although, of course, somebody will say it in chat and we'll be like, "Oh my gosh, how could we
Oh,
forget?
duh! How could we forget?
How
Yeah,
could we forget Coleman and their little?"
Listen, the CT200 is a great machine. The Coleman Trail 200. All right. You grab one of them. You get them 150s down there at the Walmart, and then you go down to your Harbor Freight and get yourself a fucking Predator 500. That fucker will do 80 miles an hour.
Pat's
Right,
had
all
some
the-
experience in this department.
Listen, you can go all the way to the seat of the crash. Okay.
Shoot. Oh my gosh. Well, and remember, this top 10 has no bearing on the
It
world.
means nothing.
Only to just aggravate people whose bike didn't make the list. So
Yeah, it's personal preference. Okay, so let's play this game. What's your favorite Honda bike? Like if there's one bike from Honda that stands out above the rest.
to own, or just that I just like in general?
You just like it. Yeah.
That I just like it.
Or like what if they had one bike that would influence this list?
Golly, that's a. I feel like the Africa Twin.
Same.
Okay.
Same.
I
It
feel
brought
like that's just such
adventure
a,
motorcycles back to the U.S. It brought them to the public in the U.S. It kickstarted what is now the fastest growing segment of motorcycling in America.
Yeah, I feel like it has become such a flagship bike for them.
Mhm.
I mean, of course they have the Goldwing.
Yep.
But with the trend in adventure, the Africa Twin.
Yeah, it's got to be the aftercredit. What is it for Yamaha? Like, what's got your blood pumping?
What's
What
got my
revs your
blood pumping?
What's the Yamaha? What revs your heart?
MT10 SP.
I'll agree with that. Yeah, I think Yamaha's really the naked market is where they dominate.
Yeah, the inline 4. Just,
Honestly, that CP3 triple though is so good.
yeah,
Like
the
The
I
MT09,
vibe
the
with the four.
R9, the Tracer GT.
Tracer's
For me,
good.
I think it's honestly more so their engines.
Mm-hmm. They're very peppy.
Triumph.
Triumph. I mean, I'm gonna have to go with like the Tiger 1200.
Yeah, I love that, dude. I love that 1200, but honestly, like the 900, 850, whatever,
Yeah,
800, 900, like that Tiger is so good to me.
I would like to check out the Tiger 800 Sport. Um, I feel like that's up my alley.
Honestly, yeah, it's
but
a good bike. I like that bike. I think for me, Triumph, it's probably like the Bonneville line and then the Speed Twin. Like that like that neoclassic look, but still performancy. Like is kind of what when I think of a Triumph, that's what I think of.
Mm-hmm.
Cowie, try not
Come
to be
on.
biased.
Come on. Come on. The Versus 1000
Yeah.
/ 1100 now.
I mean, honestly, like that sport touring kind of like that's where Cowie dominates. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like Honda does adventure bikes and big tourers. Yamaha does nakeds and like hooligan machines. Like Triumph does adventure bikes and retro classic. Cowie does sport touring bikes, and they fucking shit on everybody about it. Like, it's not even close. And then Suzuki does dual sports better than anybody else. The DRZ
Yeah,
is fantastic.
the DRZ is their kind of their icon. That
the
that
DRZs,
or the Busa.
The Busa, and then like the Gixxer, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking those is kind of just more iconic rather than what I would want. But
Yeah,
I think that's kind of when you say Suzuki. Like
yeah.
when I was a kid, the Hayabusa was like that's the bike to own.
Well, do you know why you buy a Hayabusa? I could go over it for you. The features is Haya, and the benefit is Busa.
So CF Moto, what do you got? I'm gonna ask you to go first on this one.
Honestly, that the 675 is such a cool bike. I think it's going to be what really puts them on the map for a lot of people. But that Ibex 800 and in turn the Ibex 450. I think the Ibex 450 is what is like driving that brand right now.
I have not ridden the Ibex 800 yet. I would be interested in that. But just because of maybe a recent video that was posted today, the Ibex 450, that's a solid little machine. Like the two things about it: one, it's of course it's off road, which is adventure, which is the trend, but two, it's comfortable enough to get you to the off road.
Yeah, honestly, and like it's got a very low seat height, and you could easily get the lowering link for it and a lower seat. Like it's very approachable.
Yeah, I think Yanto and we were at the CF Moto demo day, and we looked up the seat height that versus his MT-09, and the seat height was lower on the Ibex, and I was like, an adventure bike. Now that did make my legs feel a little cramped, just because of the pec being 6'2". That's my only but.
So I had kind of had that same thought on the 450 when I went to that dealer show, and then I sat on one of them with a rally seat, which is like 2 or 3 inches taller and has a bunch more cushion in it, and I felt much more comfortable.
Okay, nice.
So like they pretty easily solved that. Okay, Royal Enfield.
Royal Enfield. Himalayan.
Yep. Moving on. Aprilia.
Aprilia. I don't have much experience with them. I mean, I feel like one of their sport bikes could just be their flagship. What is it? The V4?
RSV4.
RSV4 is, but
which is
with the Touareg pretty close.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know. This is about to piss off chat. I don't know if Aprilia deserves the 8 spot. I think it's 9. I think it swaps with Harley Indian.
I love this with Harley Indian. Chad, if you disagree, weigh in.
Yeah, you probably do, and that's fine. I'm allowed to be wrong, but and I say that because like we were like this bike, Aprilia, they're a sport bike. Like
no, that's a really good
Like the
I,
Touareg's
I
cool.
agree.
I like the 660. It's cool, but like the new Harley's new Road King or Road Glide Street Glide is fantastic. It's overpriced, but the CVO Road Glide ST, super fucking cool. You can now buy a like proper, it's $100,000, but you could buy a proper race built bike from Harley now. Like that's wild to me.
Yeah.
And then honestly, Indian is doing the same thing with the Challengers.
Yeah.
The new
Okay.
Indian motorcycles are the new big boys are great. They're
I
trying new
really,
things because they have to, but
yeah. For Harley Davidson, I really like the Pan Am.
I love the Pan Am. Pan Am's a great bike.
Like that was
Fantastic.
such a great move by Harley to be like, hey, we're not just going to cater to,
Yeah.
our aging 60-year-old patches guys. So,
Yeah. The
um,
Pan Am's a great bike. And they're racing them. The Super Hooligan series in Moto America with Indian and Harley. The King of the Baggers. Like they're out there and they're busting their asses to try to make this work.
all right. So to piggyback on what you just did, which is a great approach of like, what bike can you name for this brand? I'm thinking B&W goes in front of Aprilia now.
I'm thinking so.
It's
The
our
more
list,
I-
chat. We do what we want to.
Yeah, it's our fucking show.
A flagship bike on this is the GS.
I mean, yeah, it's the R1300 GS. It's the R9T is kind of ancient, but it's such a cool bike. The
S1000.
the sport bike guys, the S1000, the M1000, the XR1000. Like,
I love that XR.
it's a good bike. Fuck, they're
Man,
too expensive. I'm poor.
Yes,
but like,
it's too expensive. I can never own it. But I rode that thing, and I was like, oh, sport touring, it's like my thing. And I was like, this is a freaking race bike that's just posing as
yeah,
sport
it's a
touring.
comfortable race bike, and I hate it and I love it.
Yes, same.
Which is what I loved about the 1290 Super Adventure from KTM. They ruined it on the 1390. I don't know what they did, but they fucked it up.
Man, we spent like our whole time on this, but I think it was worth it.
Yeah, I listen. I'm considering moving something into the 10 spot that isn't Aprilia.
Boy, Aprilia just fell off hard because it's not iconic.
I mean, like, there's a couple
man.
bikes that are like, we're like, those are cool.
Yeah.
Like, they're neat.
Well,
Honestly, I think for me, I think Kove knocks Aprilia.
wow.
I think
I don't-
Kove knocks Aprilia for the fact that like it is such an interesting brand. They've got their one bike, the second one's on its way out. But like they've shown up to the Dakar rally and to like proper NASA stage rallies here in the US and are just shitting on people.
Wow.
I don't
I don't
you don't have
know
to
if-
agree with me, but
I don't know if I can agree with you yet. So I'm going to lean on chat to say, if you agree with Patty Rick, we will swap them.
I mean, Kove. I think Kove and Moto Guzzi at least need honorable mentions. Honestly, I would take a Moto Guzzi over an Aprilia, but I think I'm. It's one of those things. We're going to talk about this after the show, actually. That like you go to a press event or you go to do some crazy cool experience on a bike, and your brain that associates that brand and that bike with that cool experience, and you want that. I had such a fantastic time on that Stelvio, crashing it and then riding it across the country.
It did so good falling on that gravel.
I mean, dude, it took a 35-mile-an-hour slam into the ground like a champion. Like, didn't blink.
And that's to its credit, yeah.
And like just kept on going. And like I was reading the comments on that video yesterday where like people are like, well, I mean, this is a great commercial for the Moto Guzzi being reliable.
Yeah.
Because like I slapped that fucker into the ground and it took it like a champ. Like I didn't mean to be clear. That was not the intention. But
I'm going to have to go back and beep so much from this episode.
yeah, fucking ain't right. Shit's all sorts of fucked up. Yeah, I mean, like, I love Luke. I'm not a Fast and Brave of Aprilia, so sure. Like, you
Well,
know,
it's kind of like what is it? The last person drafted, Mr. Irrelevant. No, the 10 spot's just kind of like, oh, whatever. We feel bad for you.
yeah, it's. I would, yeah.
Mm,
I mean, like, I feel like the 10 spot could be split between Aprilia, Cove. Like Ducati builds cool bikes. I like the Monster. I like the Multistrada. Multistrada
yeah,
brought adventure touring into the U.S. I think.
yeah,
As somebody who's owned a couple of Ducatis, I would never own another one. But like, they're cool. They're neat. But that's
yeah.
also like I've never owned an Aprilia, but they're cool and they're neat.
And that's just the personal preference coming through. Some people
Yeah,
are
exactly.
they're
Some
willing
people
to pay,
love them shits.
and they're willing to pay for the cool factor. And others
Yeah.
of us, like us,
Yeah.
are thinking, what can I actually afford?
Yeah. I mean, like, if I was a
Um,
millionaire and I could have any bike in the world, I don't know if this list would be that different. Because I'm so like I'm just a practical person. Like, but it's also one of those things where like I don't give a shit if it's reliable or not when I've got that much money. Because if like worst comes to worst, I have to buy a fucking another one.
Okay. So, in order to finalize this list, to wrap this thing up, I'm actually going to pull Indian off to the side.
Okay.
Just because I feel like they are kind of
They're
they're a Harley wannabe. Maybe not that.
It's
It's a little harsh of a term, but
I almost think, and I think I have a lot of bias towards Polaris product, and by towards I mean against. Like I don't like Polaris products generally. I don't like the Indian fly by wire. The new bikes are really nice. Joe Jackson did a great press launch on the new power power stroke or whatever the fuck they're called. Um,
I could go for a good power stroke.
hey, but like
That's what she said.
I would, man.
Okay. While you're chewing on it, Cowie Suzuki. We have a disagreement, so let's go to the chat one more time. Cowie or Suzuki for 4 or 5, knowing that they are neck and neck.
Yeah, like they are 6 dozen of one, half dozen of the other.
That 6
I-
dozen would be 72.
6 and one, half dozen of the other. You know what
Old person phrase insert here.
I meant.
Oh.
I would almost Taka Ducati. I
Cost too much, Taka. Too late to the conversation.
I would. Oh man. I would go
Luke
Honda,
says Suzuki.
Honda, Yamaha, Triumph, CF Moto, Suzuki Cowie.
I can't put CF Moto that high. Not yet.
Mm.
I still, when I get on like my bike, there's still just too much refinement. So I'll give you Suzuki,
That's
but
fair.
I'll leave CF Moto there.
That's fair.
So
Can
there's
agree
our
with
list, y'all.
There's our top 10. And the 10th spot is greatly debated.
Yes. Before you know it, we're going to get like the March Madness and have like the tournament, and we'll have play-in games or play-in rankings where
We ought to bracket these.
should we have a bracket challenge?
Yeah, because put one of the top 4 Honda in every corner.
Well,
And then-
so no, what you do is, do you pick bikes? Because I think you have
like individual bikes. Yeah.
So like you have your regions. So your regions would be ADV,
your sport bike, your
sport bike.
tours, your adventure bikes, your others.
So you throw the Africa Twin against the Tenere and the Ibex and all in the same region, and then those play out, and then you have to say, okay, well here's the best ADV bike per Live on Two Wheels. Here's the best sport bike. Now which one of these gets the crown of the best bike of 2025?
That
think
maybe be
that's-
something we could do later in the year.
Yeah, I like that.
Honestly, I love my Super T. Everyone knows. Chat knows this. Most of the internet knows that I love my Super T.
Mm-hmm.
That new Africa Twin is so fucking good. I sat on a DCT Africa Twin for like an hour today at the dealership while I was waiting on Chase to get back from doing.
You just sat on it,
Yeah, just hung out on it.
and you were like, "I want."
I want it so
That's
bad.
that's what happened with my Versus. I went up to so they had the Kawasaki demo day a couple years ago up at Northeast Georgia, and so they had the one that I got, which is a 21 used with only 450 miles on it, and then they had a 22 new one next to it, but the 21 was red and of course cost a lot less. And I kept just going back to it, and our buddy Yanto, like, he came in and took a picture of me because he caught me just sitting on it for the longest time, and he was like, "I got you, man, just get it." And then the wife came up and was like,
there's a lot of photos of me on what is now my Super T. So
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, there you have it, y'all. We spent all our time on doing this top 10. Like I said, I think it was worth it. It was interesting conversation, interesting perspectives. Pat, like I said before, I really like how you said, if you can't think of a bike from that brand, does it even belong here? You know, that was...
Yeah, like we got to Aprilia at what? It was in the 8th spot? And we were like, okay, but why?
Okay, but why? Yeah, justify it. I liked that. No, but that was great, though.
Yeah.
Little checks and balances, man. So, oh, that was fun. I enjoyed that.
No, that was good. That was fun. I'm excited to revisit that list later in the year. I think we ought to do like oh my God. We need to just get everyone's lineup. Like get full lineup, every bike for sale in the US in 2025 and bracket them shits.
We'd have to take
it would be a lot of pre-production on our part.
No, I mean, that would definitely be, I think we would have to have more regular streams so we could knock out, okay, we're doing the ADV this week. We're doing sport.
I think as we get to the end of the year, maybe like we start doing them weekly leading up to like the final show of the year.
Mm. Even the mini motos.
I mean, it's the grub.
I mean, the Grom would come out, but then it, depending upon how the categories match up, it'd be, okay, we have the Grom versus, the Ducati
Benelli.
Multistrada. Okay, Multistrada. So it might be
I'd have a Grom over a Multistrada.
You are so out of focus right now.
Am I? Fucking shit camera. Hold on. Yeah, look at that. It's perfect focus on my hand. Sometime today. Fucking Logitech.
Hey, while you figure that out, we talked about it earlier. Dad jokes, if you were preparing them, get them ready. And speaking of, we need a little life advice. So let's roll it. There it is.
My favorite time of the week.
Computer was like, let me grab the assets.
Let me find all the assets.
Ghost tip of the week. This is sponsored by Ghost on Two Wheels over on Instagram, of course. Speaking of tips.
All right. If one person during your day is an asshole, then they are the asshole. If everyone during your day is an asshole, then you are the asshole.
You know
Think
what?
about it.
True.
Right?
I'm going to shut my video off and back on to see if it'll reset.
Okay, we'll miss you.
There it goes.
There he goes. But yeah, I mean, there's so many people that's like, why is everyone being a jerk to me today?
Buddy?
Maybe.
It's like one of those things that's like, everyone has that asshole friend, and if you don't know who the asshole friend is, it's you.
Yes.
Or everyone has the stupid friend, and if you don't know who the stupid friend is, it's you.
I mean, you kind of hear that comment, that joke made so often, but it's so true.
The scary thing is, like, a great joke I used to say all the time is, like, or not a joke, but, like, just a sad thing that everybody gets to think about now, so you're welcome for that. But, like, think of, like, when someone's being a dumbass, just being an idiot, think of the person in your life that you know with the most average intelligence. Not the smartest person, not the dumbest, but, like, the most average, right? Half the world dumber than that person.
Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah, but then again, like, my counterpoint to that is also we view average intelligence as being dumb. Like your brain is like, when you think of somebody of average intelligence, you're like, yeah, that person's probably pretty fucking stupid.
Perspective. All right. Control Alt Owned, who
Petty, he's always out of focus. You right. You right.
yeah. Well, he kind of got us kicked off there with the the initial dad joke, and he came back with a good one there about the focus joke. So, anybody gonna give him some competition? I don't know. Hey, while I'm waiting on y'all to get some good dad jokes, y'all be sure to smash that like button. Y'all share this thing out. All the things. We need the algorithm to pick up a little bit. So
Yeah.
do the thing.
Yeah,
So-
we've been we love you guys. You all know that, but we want to love more of you. So
Yes.
tell your
And
friends,
let this thing grow and get out there. So
tell your
smash the like button.
coworkers, tell people you don't like to give them something to annoy them. Just happy to have
All
more
right,
folks
nobody
to
else
hang
has
out
got a
with.
dad joke. I guess Control Alt Owns is winner by default.
Winner by default, coming out with a dad joke and just a fact about Patty Rick having ADHD. So
My man. I'll holla at you later, buddy. Pat, you got anything else, my man?
I mean, listen, you know me, I could ramble for hours.
You could. We may save that for another time then.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, this is a fun episode. Top 10 motorcycle brands as of right now in 2025. That
Yeah.
in 6 months, it very well may change.
You know, somebody might release a new model and they jump up the list, and then
A couple brands may disappear entirely.
they weren't on the list anyway. But if Harley
they
has
were, but
another
they were upside
recall or two, can't even have a name. It's just letters.
Yeah.
I think it stands for something, but I don't remember.
Sure, man.
Wasn't it the founders? Or I don't really care at this point.
that's-
All right, y'all. We are going to head out, but appreciate y'all taking the time to be here. And we will see y'all next time.
see you next month. Bye.
Bye. Oh, I almost forgot to play the outro.